Long ago, in the prosperous town of Umuk, there lived a young man named Obinna. He was strikingly handsome, tall, with eyes that gleamed like polished ebony. Though barely in his 20s, Obinna possessed wealth beyond measure. His compound was filled with cattle, his barns overflowed with yam, and his robe shimmered with the finest silk from across the great waters. Pause, shift to suspicion. The elders often wondered, how does a man so young command such fortune? For his father had died a poor palm wine tapper, and his mother sold firewood in the market until her back bent with age. Yet Obinna's riches multiplied like rain on fertile soil. But what no one knew was this. Obinna's wealth came not from sweat, nor honest trade, but from a covenant with the spirit of the night. The secret covenant. Drop your voice, whispery, suspenseful. One night, beneath the full moon, Obinna wandered into the forbidden grove at the edge of the forest. There, beneath the giant Iroko tree, he met a shadowy spirit known as Nimio, the Eaters of Beauty. The spirit spoke with a voice that slithered like wind through dry leaves. Young Obinna, do you desire riches that kings will envy? Obinna's heart thumped. Yes, he whispered. The spirit grinned, its teeth glimmering like broken bones. Then feed us. Bring us maidens of beauty, and we shall fill your barns, fatten your cattle, and crown you with gold. But know this, your wealth shall drink blood, and your soul shall never know peace. Firm, dramatic pause. Blinded by greed. Obinna agreed. The disappearances. Shift tone to somber and uneasy. Soon after, maidens began to vanish. A girl fetching water at dusk never returned. Another, lured by Obinna's charm, followed him to his compound, and was never seen again. At first, people whispered of kidnappers and wild beasts. But the pattern was clear, those who vanished were always last seen with Obinna. Yet whenever suspicion arose, Obinna silenced it with generosity. He gave yams to the hungry, goats to the poor, cowries to the elders. Low, reflective tone. And so, the village was blinded by his wealth. And tongues fell silent. The spirits feast. Creepy, slow tone. On the nights of the new moon, Obinna would slip into the forest, carrying the chosen maiden. At the Iroko tree, the shadows gathered, shifting like smoke. The girl's cries would echo into the darkness, then fade. Until silence remained. Each time he returned, his barns grew fuller, his cattle multiplied, and his compound swelled until it rivaled a king's palace. But with every offering, Obinna's eyes grew darker. And his laughter carried an echo that chilled even his closest friends. The curse revealed. Shift tone to hopeful but tense. One season, Obinna set his eyes on Nena, the daughter of the village priest. She was radiant as the morning sun, her laughter pure as flowing streams. But Nena was no ordinary maiden. Her father, the priest, had long suspected Obinna's dealings. When Obinna came, dressed in white and bearing gifts, asking for Nena's hand, the priest smiled knowingly. He agreed, on one condition. Obinna must fetch her himself, under the new moon. That night, when Obinna brought Nena to the Iroko tree, the shadows gathered hungrily, as always. But before they could leap, Nena raised her hand and spoke the words her father had taught her. Strong, rising voice. The earth trembled. The Iroko tree split. Flames of ancestral fire erupted. The spirits screamed, as their shadows burned away. Obinna's fall. Dark, heavy tone. The spirits, betrayed by their servant, turned on Obinna. You fed us with the innocent, now we shall feed on you. They dragged him into the grove. His cries echoed through the forest. Then silence. By dawn, his wealth had turned to dust. His barns stood empty. His cattle, gone. The once great compound lay in ruin. At last, the villagers understood. They cleansed the land with sacrifice and song, vowing never again to let greed blind them to evil. The moral. Clear, steady voice, led this land with weight. Wealth gained through blood will end in blood. The spirits may grant riches, but they always return for the soul. Outro, cheerful, inviting tone. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more amazing African folktales by Vicky.